2 weeks ago, the unthinkable happened and my life was changed forever. And while I'm not ready to talk about the details of what happened, it has brought in so much reflection into my life and just life in general and how we view life differently. And I will forever view life differently. And I will eventually come to terms and be able to share how my life has changed and what actually happened. But just for this moment, I need to process it myself and heal myself before I can really share that. But what I do want to share are the reflections of what it has brought me and how it has really made me think about things differently. And if I can help someone through this platform and through this tragedy that's happened in my life, then that's what I'm here for. And that's what my whole purpose here is to do, is to just help someone else's life and maybe live a little bit more in peace and feel like you can feel free in your life and not tethered down. And so often when you're a high achiever and you're a high achiever perfectionist, and especially a high achiever who's not living in harmony, one that prioritizes work over everything, one that prioritizes achievement over everything, one that prioritizes all the external demands that we have in our life, there's a lot that it costs us. But yet we don't often think about that in the moment because we're so shrouded by the screaming voice of all the demands that are put on us. And we have the pressure of life and that voice that tells us you have to keep going. There's no choice. You just have to keep going. I don't care how you feel. I don't care if you need a moment. I don't care if you need a break. It's that screaming voice in our faces that says, you need to do more. You need to do more. You have to show up for this meeting. You have this conference call. You have this phone call. You have to finish this project. There's a deadline. You have to do it. There's no excuse. I don't care what you need personally, mentally, emotionally, or physically. It needs to be done. And that screaming voice yells at us louder and louder. And we always feel like one day it'll quiet down and then we'll take care of ourselves. One day the projects will lighten up and then I can finally honor my needs. One day things will just be more peaceful and smooth and life won't come smacking me in the face. But that one day never comes. It never comes. And we lose sight of what's meaningful in our life. And often when we're stuck in that vicious cycle of just achievement, external validation, external reward, meeting the demands of everything and everyone around us, we only focus on what it could possibly cost us if we don't keep on going harder, striving for more, pushing ourselves harder. And it's the bills, the expectations, the deadlines, getting to an endpoint that might feel like it's finally over, the pressures, the status, the fear of what the unknown is if we don't continue this cycle of just toxic work. And we get so stuck in looking at exactly what's in front of us that we lose sight of what actually matters. And if you were to look back at your life and what you're prioritizing right now, 20 years from now, will you say it was worth it? 20 years from now, will the things that you feel like are giving you the most stress in your life right now, is it worth devoting your time and energy towards that? And it's that perspective we need to remind ourselves of, because it's so easy to look at that short term, what's exactly right in front of us right now, what's screaming in our face, while we ignore the whisper of our soul and what our soul needs. We ignore those little messages of like, just take a break, just give yourself a moment, give yourself a little grace. But that's a whisper. It's just a small little whisper of our soul that asks for us to just honor it. But yet that screaming demands of everything and everyone that needs more of you often overshadows those whispers. So I want to share with you, how can we start to honor that little whisper? How can we start to change what we're thinking is costing us? Because when we ignore that little whisper, what it ends up costing us is our relationships, time, our energy, our health, our peace, our emotional, mental, and physical well-being. It costs the things that in my honest opinion, and many people I know, that actually matter. Those are the things that in 20 years, you're going to look back and say, the present time I had with my kids mattered. The time I was present with my family mattered. My health matters. My peace of mind matters. My relationships matter. My energy matters. My time was spent well. And 20 years from now, you will never regret honoring those needs, honoring that quiet whisper of your soul that needs a little bit more. And so if you can take anything from this message, I want you to just take a little bit more of an understanding and give you clarity into your life of like 20 years from now, if you look back at your life right now, are you honoring that scream of the external needs and the demands of everything that tells you you need to focus on it? Or are you honoring that little whisper of your soul that says, please give me a break. Please respect me. Please honor me. Please help me feel a little bit better, feel like I'm in harmony. And just take a look at your life. What are you prioritizing in your life? What are you saying that matters? And in 20 years from now, will you say that it actually mattered? And this perspective is everything. If we can start to look at our life, not from exactly what's in front of us, not from listening at the screams, but start honoring those little whispers, start honoring what will actually matter 20 years from now, then we can start changing the way in which we're living. And we can start living more in peace and harmony. And we can be there for the people who need us most. So I wanted to share that message, and I feel like it's just something that came from me and my heart, and just something that's deeply impacting me, and really was such a huge reflection and makes me look at my life as well. And what am I prioritizing? What matters? What really does matter in life? And is it worth it? What you're doing right now, what you're spending your time on, your energy, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? And ask yourself these questions. If we don't take a pause in our life, if we don't jump off the autopilot that we're living each day on, we will allow time to just go because it always goes. And if we're waiting for things to calm down to do this, there will never be a moment that it calms down and that gives you permission to actually look at your life. So take that moment right now. If you're listening to this, take this as your permission to yourself to take a moment, reflect on your life, and ask yourself, will it matter in 20 years? Is it worth it? And where is my time, my energy, and my soul being committed to? And how am I spending that? And is it worth it when I look back at my life? Thank you so much for joining me today and listening to this message. And I really hope that it can inspire even just a few people to change how they're going about their life and really honor themselves. And I really just felt called to share this message with you. And I will share more of how my life has been impacted by what has recently happened. But again, there's always healing that needs to be done. And I have to honor my needs right now and honor that little whisper right now. But I felt called to share this with you so that you can help yourself in these moments if you're really struggling right now. So thank you for joining me and spending your precious time with me.